informative and contains my opinion and understanding of the subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi, everyone. Happy Sunday. Or wherever you're at. I don't know what the time is. Oh my gosh, you guys. So I came live because I finally got my hands on. Well, first of all, Sarah, can you just let me, I didn't have tech issues, Sarah. So let me tell you why I waited a couple extra minutes to come on. I was here. I just waited because I got all the downloads that I've been looking for. And the one file is almost 21 gigabytes of information. So I wiped out half of my computer so that I can download this. It was like all old stuff. And I put it on like an external hard drive first. And then because it wouldn't let me just save it to the external hard drive. So once it's done downloading, I could transfer it over. But every time I would do something before it was halfway done downloading, we had an issue. So I just waited. So let me share, you guys. Wait till you see this. So I'm coming on to share text messages between Mackenzie and Dom. So this case, as you all know, for some reason, hits close to me. I don't know if it's because I have daughters, if I have daughters her age. There's just a lot of things. Also, the family dynamics, that's a big one because I have my specialization in marriage and family therapy. So I'm sure that plays a role in it. The other thing is, and nobody come for me for this, I 100% think she did this on purpose. I just don't know that I think, especially after reading some of these text messages, that she pre-planned it days ahead. I do think we're going to find that they both threatened this kind of stuff, specifically ending their lives through a car wreck. It's almost scripted. It's that eerie. So we're going to see that. So what I think, in my own opinion, these are just my opinions, what you're going to hear from me today. I think that she had a borderline narcissistic type break or injury of some sort. So maybe he breaks up with her, or maybe he tells her he's done, whatever the case may be. And I think that we're going to find that she got you guys are going to see, this is mind blowing. This is going to take multiple lives to get through. There is 31,000 pages of text messages, and I have all of them. But I think we're going to see that she made a split irrational decision and just, that was it. Including, it is my opinion that she also knew that she could have taken her life at the same time. And I think she had a complete disregard for her life, Davion's life, or Dominic Russo's life. So in the sake of the victims, I wanted to bring up Dominic Russo and Davion Flanagan's names so that we see that. Okay, so let me share these. All right, let's see. Share screen. All right, you guys, wait till you see this. It's crazy. You guys ready for this? Okay, here we go. All right. All right, it is added to this stage, or should be. Okay, let me see you guys. I don't know why my screen's so small. I wish somebody could see what I'm seeing right here. But good news for us, I have it. So this is the deal. I'm going to click over to it. Can you guys see? I'm going to make it bigger too, so that, because I want everybody to be able to read along if you'd like to. I got too far. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. We'll do 175. And then that way you guys could read along with me. Let me see if I could even make myself smaller, because I don't necessarily think that you have to. Well, guess what? I'll stay here. It's okay. If for some reason I shut down, not shut down, but like turn off my camera, it's because I'm getting a drink or something, because there's a lot here. So again, we're not going to get through all of them, but I wanted to make sure that I documented these because it's crazy. So this is the case. It starts in 2020, the text messages, and they go all the way through till July 31st of 2022 when the accident occurred. A lot of channels that are reading these are reading them from the very beginning going forward. And I feel like there's a need out there to read starting with 2022. But this is the thing. I think it's so important that after, like today, maybe I'll start there and then I'll go backwards, because you have to see the entire picture to get an understanding of what's happening. So at first in the relationship, she is 100%, in my opinion, obsessed with him in a pathological way. Like, I think she's like pathologically obsessed with him. And then it winds up flipping at some point. So what we're going to see today, I'm going to skip all the way to, look at that, 31,697. Ooh, that took me a minute. That's how many text messages there are. So I'm going to go 30,000 pages in. Let's see what happens. Well, it took me to 11,000 pages in. So let's see, when's this? Oh, look at that, 5/28/22. I think I had it like ready for myself and I just messed that up. So hold on. No big deal. Oh, it's downloading. Give it a second. There's so many. Let me go to it here. You guys, look at all the stuff I have. All right, hold on. What's happening? Why isn't it letting me go past that? All right, I have to, oh, here we go. I was gonna say I have to get past 11,000. So it's probably down at around, let's see what 2609 is. This is, oh my gosh, we're still in 2020, okay? That's how many text messages there are. And just so you guys know, these are only the text messages that the prosecution found were relevant to the case. So imagine how many there really are. All right, now we're at 2022. All right, we're in June of 2022. Let me go up a little bit because I want to like get a bigger picture. All right, let me go back up. There are so many. Did I go up too far? What's happening? Yes, I went. What is happening? I went up too far. You guys forgive me. All right, we're 21,000, let's say. We're still in 2020. I apologize. I was at 2022, June. Let's see what this is. Oh my gosh, we're in 2020. I'm going all the way down. All right, we're at 25,000. Now I'm in 20. Okay, perfect. I'm at February of 22. So let me just go back a little bit. This is, why did it just do that? So it wasn't me, you guys. For some reason, I just have to stay down here. So if I get to February, I'm just going to stay at February. Now I'm in March. Ugh. All right, let me see. I don't know why it's doing that. It just knocked me back down to 2020. Hold on. What is happening? Maybe I should pause that and open it up here. I apologize, you guys. I'm going to reopen it. And I'm going to stop sharing this and share my new screen, but in 1 second when I know that it completely opened. It completely opened. And this is the Cellbrite information, you guys. So this is the Cellbrite information. All right, now let's try that again. Share screen. Text message PDF. This is bananas, you guys. All right, now let me make it bigger again. Let me close out what I'm not using. There you go. All right, here we go. Let's try this again. I think it just had to be refreshed, I hope. All right, let's see. We're back down here again. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think it was at like 25. All right, wait, let me see what this is. Let me tell us. This is 27/4/35, and we are in March. See, I was right. Oh, it's doing it over here too. What is happening? Why is it doing that? Does anybody know why it's doing that? Because I don't. Look, it keeps jumping back to 10 of 2020. Am I just going to have to keep scrolling? What's happening? Oh, you guys, I was reading them all, so I know that they're here. I'm going back to the original document. So there's PowerPoints, there's body cam, there's everything. Text messages with Dominic Russo. So I'm going to re-put it, I guess, because it says it's going to take 30 seconds. So hopefully you can forgive me. Of course, when I want to pull up the messages. Meanwhile, it has it right here too, though. Like I have a whole thing. Oh, my file couldn't be accessed. Oh, I hope somebody didn't like put like a stop or something on these. I don't know how they would do that because it was a FOIA request. Hopefully everybody could hear me. It's downloading, you guys. All right, let's try this one more time. I'll have to put it in the description where to start. But it's okay. People were still coming in. All right, let's try this again. All right, please work this time. Please work, please work, please work. All right. I don't know what's happening. Come on, you guys. Forgive me. I apologize. I respect your time. And I definitely had everything prepared. And the little bit that could. All right. Hopefully we have it. Hold on. Now I just have to transfer over. I think we're good now, you guys. Oh, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. You have no idea how much that means to me. Especially because, you guys, I am still like, I'm pulling this up. Don't worry. But I am still like suffering the consequences of losing all of my what are they called? My subs. Remember when YouTube did that, you know? Well, I still lost my subs since then. I don't know why this keeps like jumping back. It's like unbelievable. So this isn't me. I don't know what's happening. But I'm just going to put it on. So we might have to be forced to start sooner, which would suck because I think that that's just not cool. But let's see what happens. What date is this? Hey, look, it's bringing us to page 2. Why? Let's go to 22. Let's go to 25,000. Please, Jesus. All right, it's saying 19. All right, we're at 21, 23, 22. Oh, please, Jesus, keep us here. So 19,692 is where that starts. Oh, please, I think it might let us. What's happening? So that's weird. The first time I did this, let me just try one thing. 3, 1, 6, 9, 7. And let's see what happens, because the first 2 times I did that, it stopped. Oh, okay. Well, at least I have 2022 open. So let me see if I can go back a little bit. So it let me just download. I think it's downloading. I think that's the problem. There's that many messages, and I had this all up. So let me redirect us to this tab. Please don't lose this. All right, you guys, fingers crossed. I don't understand why it's not doing what I intend it to do. All right, this one's 2021. This wasn't the one I wanted. Hold on. I don't know how that happened. So wait, let me X out of that. so I don't get confused. Please, Jesus. Okay, is this 2022? This is 2022. 2021, don't go backwards. All right, this is 7/14/2021, which would be a year before. Why isn't it letting me go down any further? 31. Let's see what it's doing. Maybe I just have to put it in because look, now it goes down to that. And then it keeps going back up. Like I feel like somebody's messing with me right now. Does anybody know what could be happening? Why is this happening? It's weird because that's not the whole file. Oh, it lets me go down further here, but it's not going to let me stay on it, I don't think. Does anybody know what I'm doing wrong? I'm asking questions and I'm not on the screen to see the answers. That's just not very intelligent of me. I'm like annoyed because I was reading these. Like I know I have them. All right, let's see. So it gets me there. I just don't know if it's going to let me keep scrolling unless I have to like keep clicking on the page. So over here, I know you guys could see it. This is 2/27/22. And it says from Dom. So Dom's the blue and Mackenzie is the green. Oh, please let it. I don't know how. Wait, let me go back out a little bit. And then that way I could just click on the pages on the side just because I don't know how else to do it at the moment. I'll click over to see if you guys do. As long as you could get there, that's all that matters. Thank you. Hi, Truth. Thank you for being here, you guys. Who else is here? Tony. Hi, Tony. Harlot. Hi, Harlot. Oh, I'm so glad people are here. Before we're done, let's see how many people show up, but I maybe want to give some memberships because, again, YouTube took away my monetization for a minute, and for like the next month after, every day, like it's like a punishment. Anyway, I got it reversed, but it didn't reverse the membership thing. So that's like hurting a little bit, but we'll figure it out. All right, here we go, you guys. Fingers crossed. Here we go. Here we go. Why did it jump me down to 17? All right. So let's keep going. Over here, it has us starting too far back. So hold on. I don't know why I just thought. This is the thing, you guys. This is what I just realized. Once I'm on the page, I can't jump back to StreamYard, and because that's when it's resetting. So I'm just going to read. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cell phone in front of me. Truth or Sarah, if for some reason, like you need to get my attention, try to remember what page I'm on, and then or I'll remember what page I'm on before I go over, but just text me so that I know. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for modding today. I don't know if Mark the Shark's here yet. All right, let's see. All right, we're going to start from wherever this is bringing us. I don't know why it keeps bringing us back to this. Like, this is almost like an omen. What do you think? I don't know why it's doing this. I literally was reading these. All right, here we go. Where are we at now? 123.22. If we could just stay there. But no, it keeps going back to 17,000 or whatever it is. I don't understand. Look, and then as soon as I hit like to keep going, it just jumps me back. What if I go all the way down to the bottom? Of course, when you want to show something. All right, I went down to the bottom this way, and I'm going to see if it's going to let me back up. That's like the only thing I didn't try. I have no idea. I don't know what's happening. Participants, what's that? Oh, the participants are Mackenzie and Dom. And then the instant messages. I don't know why it's making me start at the beginning. I might have to start at the beginning, you guys. That might be the only way that we get this done. I don't know how else I do it. Which stinks. Or I can see how far it lets me down here. We're at 2/3/21. Hopefully it'll keep me here. I'm making it bigger so you guys could see. I'm not going to click over to StreamYard. All right, we're just going to start here because it's letting me. So this is back in 2020. Of course, it went backwards. I don't understand what's happening. So I'm just going to pick a spot and we're just going to start and I'm just going to read. And then wherever I stop, I stop. That's what we'll do. And then I'll figure it out before the next live. Because like I said, this is going to be multiple lives. There is almost 32,000 pages of text messages. All right. So here we're at 7:14. Is this AM? Where are we? So this is Mackenzie. We're just going to start here. You guys, you're going to see that they literally text all day. Well, she texts him, I should say. We're going to find all day long. Wait, do you see this? So maybe this is an omen that I'm supposed to start back here. So I'm just going to do this. So I'm going to help out Thomas now real quick so he can go back to college. This is Dom. So Dom's blue. She's green. Okay, cool. Bye, says Dom. He says, talk to you later. She says, wow, the fact that you can sit there and disrespect me like that is shocking. I never thought this would happen again. This shit is depressing. Like, I dressed all cute for you too, but I guess I'll just change. LOL. And you still leave me on red? So then he gets back to her. I said we'll talk later. She says, it's been almost 2 hours. That is later. And didn't you say 6 is when Thomas goes to college? He says, I say when. She says, nothing. So you're going to see this too. She sometimes will send a blank text, and I think it's just to like get his attention. She says, it's honestly funny as shit when you talk like that. It's funny how you're still talking like that. Like, it's been hours and you're still choosing Kylie over me. It's past 7. It's getting late. Still not answering calls. He finally responds at, what time is this? 7:17. I'm chilling with Kylie, Chris, and Blair. She says the N-word. She says, oh, they say the N-word. They say re a lot, the R word. She said they use gay a lot. Wait till you guys say it. It's unbelievable. Honestly, I'm done with this shit. See, like, you give no S about me. He says, you're tripping. She says, Dom, read our combo. You were mean since like 1. He says, okay, let me read it. She says, Kylie has been at your house 2 days in a row, and you bowed on me twice for him. He says, I haven't seen Kyle. I said Kylie, you guys. I haven't seen Kyle in so long. She says, Dom, you see him all the time. Like, that doesn't mean ruin plans with your girl. And treat her like shit all day. Like, you know, I would come right now and hang with everyone just fine. So she's trying to go over to his house. So let me just, in case you don't know the situation or the scenario, he lives next door to his mom. His mom owns her property and the property next door. She's a lawyer. Apparently, there's like, I think there's like, she has 5 kids. Her and the dad are split up. I believe there's 4 boys and 1 girl, or 3 boys and 1 girl. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But Dom lives next door. Let's keep in mind, we are in 2020. So Mackenzie right now is 15 years old and Dom is 18. So tell me what you guys think about that. So he says, bruh, we would be chilling if you just stop tripping. She says, you're just choosing to disclude me. Dom, I'm not even tripping right now. I'm just saying facts. And I didn't text you for like 2 hours, so I don't know what you mean by that. You're the one still mad and leaving me on red. Like, this is one of those days I'll never forget. I have school tomorrow. So he's still not writing back. So you can fix our issue so easy. And I know you and how to, but you're just choosing to upset me. So she's just saying to him, like, you can fix this and you're just choosing not to. Then she says, you can answer the phone. And he says, no, I can't. Okay. So no, I can't. And this is at 7:25, you guys. Like that, the messages, like 10 pages was what, 7:17 or something. Then she writes, why can't you? He says, because I'm trying to chill with them and actually have a convo before they leave. And I'm not arguing with you. She says, what are you even talking about? And then in all caps, you had all day. He says, what do you mean? We chilled for so long. She says, it's like you're trying to make me upset. He says, I've been chilling with Kyle for 3 hours. Chris, like 2. And Blair just got here. She says, that's your fault. That's your fault for I buy them over when we had plans. That's your fault for inviting them over when we had plans. You'll see, you guys, that she gets mad and she like writes very fast and she'll miss letters. But I do that too, so I can understand what she's saying most of the time. He says, I'm not trying to make you upset. She says, I do not believe that. He says, but I don't chill with them and they have time today. So in other words, let me chill with my friends for a day. She says, I can just come over and chill with everyone with you. So he's at his house. I can't wait to read the comments in a little bit. He's at his house right now and with his 2 male friends, and she like begs to come over. Wait do you guys see this? And this is the thing. I don't even think I read this specific day or whatever because there's so many texts. And it's like you're going to see a pattern. So he emphasized, that's your fault for inviting them over when we had plans. She says, like, you're making this so hard. He says, he questions that same one. So that's your fault for inviting them over when we had plans. And he says, no, not the same. She says, I've been on the bridge of a panic attack all day. How is that not the same? He says, you're making it hard for me to do anything today. She says, or you can be nice and tell them to leave because we had plans. Like, you can fix this right now. He says, well, it's not the same because without you here, you're not here. Oh my gosh. She says, or just everyone leave at 8 o'clock. And he says, and with you here, you're here. So it's different. She says, it's not really not. Y'all act the same with or without me, which I don't know how she would know that, right? How do you know if somebody acts the same when you're there and you're not there? I don't know. He says, we really didn't have plans. I said we can probably chill later. Wait till you guys see, and this is dysfunction, and it goes back and forth. It's not just one way. She says, oh my God. He says, now we're wasting time again because they're just texting. It's only 7:29, you guys. Okay. He says, and I'm going to get really mad. She says, so what you're trying to say is you're not going to let me come over tonight? Dom, we're not even arguing. Call FaceTime. Call FaceTime down, she said. He says, if you keep making me mad, we're not going to chill. She says, Dom, I have school tomorrow. He says, okay. She says, I have to leave at 12:30 if I come over. This is the other thing, you guys. I have a 17-year-old, and there's no way she's coming home at 12:30 on a school night. And she's 17. This kid's 15 right now, and he's 18. So he says, okay. She says, like, you can be nice, have everyone leave around 8, and we can hang. Or you can just F me over and not let me come. Like, this is what makes me not F with your friends. Sorry, I had to figure out what that meant. And about to not be cool with Kyle. He says, you are tripping. N-word, but he just writes N. Or maybe he was writing now I'm mad, but they use the word way too like, you shouldn't use it at all, but they use it like way, way, way too frequently. Like, wait, do you say, pipe the F down. She says, whatever, Dom. Thanks for ruining my whole day and lying to me. That just proved all you care about is your friends. Thanks for hurting me. He says, I chill with you every day. Thanks for making me rage all day and not even letting me have fun with my friends for once. When have all of us been here together? It's been so long. But thanks, babe. I take you everywhere, get you almost whatever you want, but you can't let me chill with my friends for one day. But I still do all of that, I guess. She says, I'll let you chill with your friends. I let you chill with your friends all the time. I only, in caps, get mad when you lie or ditch me, and you did both today. Stop acting like I don't appreciate you. He says, or he disliked the chill one. She says, no to what? I've been nice to you all since even when you're talking to me like I'm an effing dog. And that's also never going to happen again, by the way. Oh, it does though. And remember why me and Maddie. So Maddie is her best friend. And I mean, who needs enemies when you have best friends like this? So he winds up cheating on her with two of her best friends. So, and remember why me and Maddie aren't cool anymore, because he hooked up with her. And that I pretty much have no friends, which often happens when somebody is isolated by a relationship. And I'm not blaming Dom. I think if anything, she becomes like obsessed. And it's toxic on both sides. What do you say? Like I told you, I don't have any friends right now. And I remember you telling me not to worry, but I should have known it was going to be like this. And you don't care. You will never understand that struggle. I just lost my effing best friend. And you can't even answer me. So you guys, she lost her best friend because she hooked up with him. So why is she not friends with her, but still talking to him? I don't know. He says, I was busy doing something. She says, okay, well, answer now. You could have just replied with your answer, but I don't know why you said that. Read what I said. He says, this isn't my problem right now. She says, it is. You're the reason this shit started, because you needed to see what Kyle was doing when he had plans. Call me. So what's going on tonight? He says, we probably won't chill. Maybe at like 9:30 we can chill. She says, of course. That's what you said. You know just how to make everything so much worse. If you ditch me tonight, we will have issues. He says, how? She says, I know you didn't just say how. Like, why can't you compromise with me? I'm for real about to flip out. You should see my effing face right now. Then emphasized, if you ditch me tonight, we will have issues. He says, okay, we can chill at 9:30. She says, in caps, so you can't compromise? Like, I'm going to be half asleep. Like, you really can't hang out at 8:45. You guys, she's starting all of this over 15 minutes. That's right in the middle. And then, oh my gosh, writes a bunch of letters, no gas. And then emphasize, I'm about to flip out right now. Then questions, so you can't compromise? Oh my God, answer, so I can leave you alone. That's what she wrote. If not, and he writes a 9, I guess he was, I don't know. Oh, she writes 9:50. Oh, because they're talking about the time. I-95. Wait, 8:50. Oh, she's talking about the times. Please, you guys, hold on. I need to back that up because I didn't understand what's happening right there. He says 9. So she says 9:50. I think she meant 8:50 because she said, wait, 8:50. That's what happened. Please. Question mark. Oh my God, you guys. 9, babe, he says. She says, you really can't go 10 minutes shorter? He says, maybe. See you at 8:30. Is that what that means? She said, what's up? So wait, is this the same day? So we're on 9/7/2020 at 8:20 p.m. That's unbelievable. At 8:51, same day, she writes, what's up? At 8:51. You think I can come now? Oh my gosh, you guys. He said 8:50, and at 8:51, she's asking if she can come. He said, what's going to happen when you come? She says, nothing. He says, we going to be normal and just chill, right? She said, yeah. Can I come? He says, leave in 5. She says, at 58. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm going to leave at 58. Morning. My husband was even like, this is ridiculous. Morning, my babe. For real. Or FaceTime me when you're up. Okay, so you guys, I guess she went over. So this is the next day, you guys. This is the next day. Morning, babe. FaceTime me when you're up. And it's already 8 o'clock in the morning. She's already doing this. So at 11, he says, sorry, I don't know how I slept this late. And she said, it's okay, babe. You were up late. He says, LOL. She says, I'm on lunch right now. He says, nice. She says, I'm bored. For real. My last class was so boring. He said, I need to take a shit. She says, FaceTime? Question mark? He says, I'm going to go shit first. She says, okay, yay. Oh my God, you guys. So then he sends an attachment, and the attachment, I wonder what happens. I don't know if you could, I don't think you could click on them. So I might be able to copy and paste them, but I'll play with that at another time. But it's just a picture, and I don't know exactly what it's of. And then, oh, it's Mackenzie. And then he sends another one. Oh, they're Mackenzie, you guys. So he's sending her pictures of her. He sends another one. And then he writes, my beautiful babe. So he's probably taking a crap because this is like 2 minutes later. So then she sends, a picture, and then writes, babe. And he says, nothing. She says, you so sweet. I think I'm going to buy the battle pass thing for Brawl Star. He says, I tried to, but I don't know my Apple ID password. So this is all within like the next 15 minutes. She says, I'm going to get it right now. He says, nice. She says, got it. He says, bring pre-roll stuff. She says, I will when I'm free. Oh, that's a first. He said, okay. And then she sends nothing and then says, y'all still talking? Okay, so now it is, they were just talking at like 11:50 something, so it was almost noon. Now it's almost 2 p.m. Yes. So, it was delivered at 1:49 and he opened it at 1:58. Wait till you guys see how mad she gets when he doesn't answer right away. He says, yeah. She says, let me know when I can come. He said, okay. She says, I can go to Polaris. I can go to Polaris tomorrow. So Polaris is like they're the school that you go to. She wants to be in cosmetology, and so it's like the school that they work with. So that's Polaris when you hear that. He says, that's dope. I told you that you still could, which means she was already going and couldn't for some reason. Now, I'm really happy, she said. He says, do you go to class or is it online? She said, I hope I like it. Oh, this is the thing, you guys. So we're at 9/8/2020. So this is COVID. I'm going to go tomorrow, she said. I go in. He says, oh, I don't know what that one is. FASHO. Ava, yeah. What's FASHO? For show. There you go. For show. That's why I have a teen. Thank you, Ava. She says, I'm anxious. He says, it'll be fine. That was funny. She says, do you think we can hang before 4? I'm just anxious. I'm not going to like it after all this. Claire, she's talking about. He says, like what? And yeah, And yeah, we can. I'm about to run to Tommy's real quick. Then we can hang. She says, like, what if I don't like my class? And do you want to scoop? So scoop is pick her up. He says, I could. She says, bet. They say bet all the time. So bet just means, because I know a lot of people in another chat were like, what's bet? It just means like awesome, like cool. So she says, how long? Did you go to Tommy's yet? Oh my gosh. It's 3:24 in the afternoon. So this is all still 9:08. He says, about to be at your house. She said, yay. He said, here. And then let's see, where do we jump to? So now we are at, so that was at 3:27 in the afternoon. So he must pick her up. They hang out. And then by 11 or 10:30, it actually says, by 10:30, she sends this and he doesn't answer until 11:12. So she says, where even are you? Should I just dip? It's hot as F in my house. So she wants to know if she should just leave and come. He says, open a window. Oh my gosh. It's cooler outside. Also, go look at Polaris tomorrow. Good night, babe. And she says, Ava, what's LLY? Yeah. Or is it just like, I don't know. It must be something love you. I love you so much, babe. I got it. I figured that one out. I love you so much, babe. That's what it means. Which is, I'm glad that I figured that out, you guys, because in these text messages, the one thing that I was like, I don't see a lot of is them saying, I love you. But you do see the I or ILY. So it's I love you. So good night, babe, she says. Just puked. All right, so wait, let's see when this was. So she writes good night at 11:32. And then the next day, oh no, it's the next morning at 3:31 in the morning. She writes, just puked. And he writes, why, babe? She says, I did not feel good at all. Like I was in hella stomach pain. So this is at 7 in the morning. I think it's from the sub. Oh my effing God, my Polaris teacher is so effing R. She's like making me think about dropping the class already. I'm so annoyed right now. I have no tops that I like. He says, just wear something simple. She said, today's been such a bad day. Wait, today's been such a bad day. He says, that's what life's about. Keep pushing. She says, like, I'm all itchy and hot and I can't find an outfit. My Polaris teacher just ruined my whole morning. You guys, nobody can ruin your morning. You would have to allow them to do so. Don't allow people the power to ruin your day. He says, how? She says, so I wake up at like 7, like I'm supposed to. And this dumbass won't email me back after I sent her 3 emails, but she's posting on Google Classroom and she knows nothing what she's doing. And she kept posting, creating a Google Meet, not even the actual Meet. Okay, Meet, MEAT. And I'm not the best speller, but that's bad. Okay. Like the class never even happened because of how slow that teacher is. Oh my God, that's so mean. And you know how much all my cosmetology shit is? It's $400. And he said, just call her. She didn't pay for it. I'm sure her parents did. He said, you can call through email or call the school and complain. She said, I was so mad. I even commented on the assignment and she didn't answer. So I don't know what the F's wrong with this teacher. Like they should be answering emails right away. She still hasn't even answered me. I will say, you guys, I answer emails right away. However, she's talking about, it's only 11 o'clock in the morning. So she's talking about from like an hour or 2 ago. Like she's got to give the teacher a minute to write back. She says, I'm about to go to the mall and get a backpack for school. So she's out of school already? Wow. He said, nice. I'm about to get up soon. I need to take a shower today. Okay. She said, I'm showered today too. Oh my gosh, you guys, goals. She said, today has been so frustrating, like how my mom won't take me to the mall because my sister is on a call. I'm just trying to relax and shop. He said, just go take some breaths and you'll realize it's not a big deal at all. She says, I'll try. What's your move today, babe? Would you be able to drive me to the mall, please? And then emphasize, would you be able to drive me to the mall? He says, I'm still in bed. So this is almost noon. She says, oh, okay, that's fine. He said, I just got up. You're going to notice the pattern, you guys, when she like says like, oh, okay, he winds up doing it. I always say like in relationships, and I'm not calling anybody an animal here. I'm giving you an analogy. I say like when you walk towards a dog, they walk away. When you walk away, a dog follows. And I don't mean a dog meaning a person. I mean like for real a dog. It's the same type of thing in relationships. When you push, often that will make somebody else push back. And it seems like when she just chills and rolls with the flow, like goes with the flow, he then wants to do stuff. So he says, I probably could in a little. She says, my mom can take me now, I think. Oh my God, it was only 8 minutes later. He said, okay, bet. She said, answer. Same day. I need to talk to you. Let me know something. Wait, I need you to let me know something. Oh, sorry, it took a second. I thought she was at his house. I'm trying on shoes right now. Oh, at the mall. What are you doing? She questioned, what are you doing? Oh my gosh, you guys, this is all within the matter of like minutes. I need to know what shoes you're talking about. And then just sends a side smile. Emphasized, I need to know what shoes you're talking about. Oh my gosh, you guys. He says, I was in the shower. She says, okay, makes sense. What shoes were you talking about? Call me. He says, get pulp on the way home and let me get some. She says, I got you. I have to go home, change, then can you scoop? He says, how long? It's going to melt. She says, it's not. I got it. I just got to change my pants. On the way. I'm not going to change my pants anymore. Oh my gosh. Morning, babe. Okay, so that must be the end of that day. So at 1:52 p.m. on 9/9, he must pick her up and they hang out. So now on 9/10 at 7 in the morning, she starts. Morning, babe. Oh my God, this would drive me bananas. I couldn't date somebody like this. Audrey's on my bus. He says, really? What are you going to do? Is she in cosmetology? Also, good lunch today. Oh my gosh, what's BBY and then IMY? What's BB? I miss you. And what's BBY? It says also good lunch today. Is it by BB? Baby. I'm so glad my teenager's here. Thank you, Ava. Also, good lunch today, baby. What was IMI? I miss you. Sorry, you guys, I'm old. And then he writes, I love you. And she writes, oh my God, I'm so effing mad. I love you, babe. I'm about to be home. What are you doing today? He says, right now I'm running somewhere. Then I'm gonna be on the way home. I'll FaceTime you in a sec. She says, okay, bet. And then sends him this message that I can't wait later to try and open. Let's see. So now we have, yeah, I'd keep being more of a PUSSY is what he says to her. And she says, I will. FaceTime me, babe. He says, what are you doing now? So we're still at 11:30 in the morning, you guys. She says, school. He says, babe. She says, yes, babe. He says, I need cheesecloth. I forgot. She says, I'll get you some. He says, when you get off school, because it's going to be done in an hour. Meanwhile, she's at school, yo. She writes, I know exactly where they are. Shit, okay. And he says, Okie. She says, give me a time. He says, oh, he sends an attachment of a unicorn with a heart. Then he says, at 1:11 they'll be done. They're very punctual with their times. And then she sends back her emoji with the kissy heart. She said, okay, bet. There was no message with that. Okay, bet. And then he says, in 1 hour exactly. She says, let me know. Okay. BB. What would BB be? Baby? I don't know. And then I think that's... Oh, BB's also baby. Oh my gosh, I'm learning so much today. He says, okay, I need lots of cheesecloth. More marshmallows. Ooh, marshmallows and cheesecloth? And more cereal. Oh, I guess it's just food shopping in general. Can you do that? And she said, yeah, give me an amount of each thing. Please. On call with teacher. And then he says, and it's only noon, you guys. Like, I can't believe this. And then he says 4 bags of mini marshmallows, 4 boxes of Fruity Pebbles, and like 5 things of cheesecloth. Oh my gosh. Kyle's bringing me something. I told him he can bring Kristen if he wants and we can smoke. She said, yay. Remember, she's 15. I'm still on class right now. I'll try to be there as soon as possible. He said, I don't think they can come now. She says, okay, I'm taking a test right now. I'll text you in 6. How is she? Oh, I guess she texted him before the test. She says, Lex is giving me all the math answers. Oh my gosh. I'm about to leave. Going to the store right now. He says, bet. Get Fruity Pebbles. Didn't he already ask for that? And get some marshmallow fluff too. So he wants mini marshmallows and marshmallow fluffs. And she says, how many? And he says, a couple. When you going to be at my house? She says, I'm waiting for my mom. Then I'm going to walk over. They live within like 2 minutes of each other driving. So the walk is about 10. I have to watch the kids while she's getting it. So this is the deal. From what I got from the other messages is that her mom, Nicole, I think is her name, right? She must watch kids at her house, like for a living, because Mackenzie hangs, she calls them the daycare kids a lot. So she says, I have to watch the kids while she's getting it. He says, oh, for real? I can probably pick you up. I just got home. She says, my mom can drive me. He says, actually, Blair and Kyle Harper are coming through. She says, I'm coming. He said, you're coming now? She says, yes. He said, oh, okay, bet. And then he says, you got everything? And again, you guys, we're not even at 2 o'clock yet. Like that wasn't even 2 hours. She says, yes. He says, bet. She said, do you not want me to come in? Pulled or smoked? Chicken? Answer. It will be ready in 5. He says, bet. She says, coming soon. Babe. Question mark, question mark, question mark. What are you doing? He says, good look at school, baby. I love you. So now we are at 10:30 at night on 9/11. And she says, nothing there. Just leaving Polaris now. You guys, she's done school by 10:30 in the morning. And I was bitching because my daughter wants me to like help her get a free 8th. Like this kid's leaving at 10:30 in the morning. School only starts like an hour and a half before that. Like, what is she learning at school? And clearly nothing if she's getting the answers from another student. Unbelievable. She says, love you so much, babe. He says, love you too, babe. She says, what are you doing, babe? He says, at home getting things done, about to eat. She says, I feel so crappy today. He says, you looked really good on Snapchat. She said, I look good for you, babe. You have to answer. FaceTime me for like 1 minute. And he said, I was talking to Sean. She said, wrong. What's WTM? WTM. Yeah, what's the matter? Is it what's the matter?
No, what's the move?
Oh, what's the move? Thank you, Ava. No, it is what's the move. You're right. And then he says, um want to chill for a little and get food. Going to Kyle's at 6 or 7. She says, well, OFC. Of course. I don't have an effing ride. For real gonna have to walk. I'm so sad right now. And he says, I can just pick you up. I'm eating right now. Give me a sec. She says, okay, scoot me in a second. I'm ready. And then he says, Lily, my family knows just how to ruin my mood. So I don't, what's Lily? Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Lily, my family knows just how to ruin my mood. It could also, oh, she wrote like, oh my gosh, I'm looking into it. And she wrote like, it was supposed to be like, you guys. And then he said play. He says brawl. She says, okay. Are we not hanging? Want to just come to my house? And he said, I'm playing Madden. She says, question, are we not hanging out? The annoying ass school is loud AF. All right, so we're still in 9/11 and it is 9:16 p.m. He says, what school? She said, so are we not hanging? He said, probably not. I'm sorry, babe. But we do have something tomorrow. We do have, that has to be another one. And sleepover. So they have a party tomorrow, I think it is. And sleepover. And she says, okay, I love you, babe. Have fun. He said, love you too, baby. Oh, you don't have school tomorrow? If you up in a little, we can hang. And this is at 10 p.m., right? Yes, 10 p.m. or 11. She writes back at 11. I'm going to bed now, probably. Oh, that's a first. How soon? She says. See, she thought about it. Oh, I don't know. I'll probably be here at least another half hour. And she said, yeah, I'll definitely be asleep by then. I'm so exhausted. But if I'm up, you can FaceTime with me probably. And he said, okay, babe. She says, morning. So now we're at 9:12 at 9:42 a.m. FaceTime me when you're up. And then just sends like nothing. And then writes, hi, babe. Oh my gosh, she can't stop. So now it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He's probably going to get in trouble because they haven't talked a whole lot yet. Sorry, I needed a drink. All right, so he says, hi, babe. She says, when you want to hang? Oh my gosh. Want to come over? Then we can go to your house after I shower. Why don't they just wait until she showers and go there? I don't know if I have time to chill at your house, says try to shower right at 5. So we can go to Jared's. I think that's the name of the kid. What time does that start? He says, I don't know. She says, I'm a shower around 5:35. You guys, she is so like particular with times because that's when my timer ends. FaceTime me real quick. I'm about to get in. What's going on now? Babe? Should I take my hair down or leave it in a braid? And he says, braid. She says, oh my gosh, you guys, she asked 40,000 questions and he answered braid. I'm putting on my lashes now, she says. He says, I'll get you in 20 minutes or so. She said, that's perfect. He says, bet. So now we're at 9:12, 7 p.m. So she says, you coming soon? So this is the thing, you guys. She does this a lot. So at 9:12, she sends him a text that has nothing in it. And then when he doesn't answer, she then does at 7:25. So, you know, a couple minutes later, writes, you coming soon? And he writes, on the way. She said, yay. All right. So now we are at, it says, Aunt to be here. She said, I really don't know your issue. So wait, what time is this? Okay, so this is the thing. This is delivered at 11:06. So she's home now, I guess. But he doesn't get it until 3:39 p.m. Wow. She said, weird AF. Oh, she's pissed. Oh, this isn't going to be good, you guys, because it says that it's not even read till 3 o'clock p.m. She writes, why did you just throw my phone? Oh, they're together. Wow. Why did you just throw my phone? What is happening? I'm scared. Oh. So I hope everybody's still hanging out over there. One of my mods, if you can you write down 10,001? I want to go back to this. What's happening? I'm scared. My mom is already pissing me off. Like, F this house. Okay, so now she's home. Can you just answer for just 2 seconds? And then emphasize, can you just answer for just 2 seconds? He finally gets back to her at 3:40 p.m. Sorry, I was helping Kyle before he left. Meanwhile, Kyle's been leaving for school for days. She writes, my nails are breaking. He said, get them done. She said, what you doing? He said, booning with Sean. She says, that sounds fun. I'm about to eat cake. Still want to hang when I dip? He says, yeah, I want to go watch football with Kyle and Brad. And who? Bradbury, though. And she says, can I come? Who asks if you can come to go hang out with his guy friends? But he says, probably. She said, yay, I'm on the way home right now. Are you still with Sean? He says, no, I'm just at home. She said, can I get dropped off at your house? This is crazy. Thank you. Truth. Then she says, I'm by the Metro Parks. And then I'm home now. So now we're at 7:43 p.m. He says, okay, bet. I'm at BS real quick. I'll be home soon. Shit. Do you want to just pick me up when you're on the way home? Oh my gosh. He said, here. Okay, so now he picks her up, we know, at 10 after 8 p.m. on 9:13. On 9:14, okay, so now it's the next morning. She writes, morning, babe. Oh my gosh. Just left Polaris. Wait, so again, at 10:30, she's done school. He says, what are you doing? She said, I'm getting some orange juice right now. I posted on Insta, babe. He said, okay, babe. She says, FaceTime? And he said, not right now. She says, babe, you really the best. He said, I try. And then sends nothing. And then she sends nothing. So I don't know if, I don't think it's anything. Because look, there's nothing there. And then it says, how'd you sleep? So now it's 9:14 at 11:14 a.m. How'd you sleep? She says. He says, I don't know. I'm mad though now. I'm going back to sleep. She said, okay, I'll talk to you later. She said, I'm going to go to the hospital or doctor. So this is at like noon on the 14th. My back is so effed. I can't stand up for more than 5 minutes. I'm just laying down right now and it's in serious pain. He said, that's weird. What kind of pain? She said, it's the worst pain ever. Like, remember how the last couple of days I've been saying my back hurts? He says, or he questions, that's weird pain. And she said, like, it used to be when I was standing, but now it just stings when I'm sitting. It's sharp as F in my upper back. He said, oh, sharp pain. Yeah, probably something with the muscle, maybe. I was going to say, if it was like a burning pain, it might be your nerves. And she said, it's that too. And then writes, it's that too again. It's burning right now. I just seen you. Okay, that's weird. So you're going to see this sometimes too. So she just says, I just seen you, which means that she drove past his house, which she does often. All right, I just seen you. Like, if you just seen him, I would have been like, if I had to give her advice, like, why would you tell him that? And he says, where'd you see me? Pick me up when you're on the way home. Babe, And he said, I'm going to chill with Sean when I'm back. See, every time she's pushy, he pushes away. She said, I thought you told me that we can hang when you get back when I FaceTimed you. He said, well, I forgot I was supposed to link with Sean today for edibles anyway, and he wants to smoke a blunt. She says, can I smoke with you? Remember, she's 15. We can also hang after. I just had school tomorrow again, so I have to dip early. He said, okay, he didn't answer. You want to get food? She says, yes. We can get Wawa or Waf, whatever that is. Oh, we can get, I don't know, probably whatever he wants. He says here. So he picks her up on 9:14 at 7:30. So then she says, okay, coming. My mom wants me to be home soon. What the hell's the point of going out? He said, okay. She says, what are you doing? So wait, now where are we? Oh, that's weird. Oh, it's still around the same time. So he says, we talking about what to do with Nikki. So this is at 10:30. So she said, my mom wants me to be home soon. Like, so pretty much come get me. She says, what happened? He said, she's terrible. She says, come back in a second and tell me. And then says, emphasize, my mom wants me home soon. Thanks for the disrespect. Because now it's almost 11. I'm really upset. I just want to cry. So you're not going to answer? He says, I muted you earlier when I was mad. My bad. So now it's 12:30 in the morning. So instead of getting mad, oh, wait, is this the next day? No. So wait, this says, wait, let me back up 1 second. So over here, she delivered, you're so not going to answer. That was 9:14 at 11:29. He doesn't get it till 12:35 a.m. And then he writes at 6:30 in the morning, I muted you earlier when I was mad, my bad. And then she writes at 10:46, hang at 1:40. Oh my gosh, you guys. He says, maybe, let me see what I'm going to do. And she said, I want to get my nails done today also. Would you want to come with me? Oh my God, I would never go with someone to get their nails done. It takes forever. He said, I want to stack up a little so we can go shopping tomorrow. She says, well, how about I go get my nails done? Then you do what you got to do. Then we hang after. He said, let me see what I want to do. She said, okay, babe. And then sends nothing. And he writes, LOL, babe. And she writes, I don't know what I should do with my nails. He says, red French tips. I almost was going to say, I don't know, but why is she asking him? But he wrote right back. So maybe that's a thing. Like So she wrote, F it. I'm going to probably do that. Or I'll do this, and sends a picture. So I can't wait to blow that up later to see what that looks like. And then he says, nah, red. And she wrote, okay. I just got assigned this English project and it's so hard. Oh, well, she's at school for once at 12:30 in the afternoon. And my appointment is at 2, I guess, for her nails. He said, what do you have to do? She says, it's complicated as F. I can't even explain it. I have to compare something happening in the world to the witch trials, some bullshit. Oh, I could do that, Mackenzie. He says, oh, that probably won't be that hard. If you actually try, I'll help you get good grades, but you have to actually try. I just got a call from New York and it was a spoofer. I called the number back and the dude had the heaviest New York accent. It was funny as shit. She writes, I'm down to try. That's funny as F. Did you F with him? And he wrote, no, I was just like, my bad, bro. Someone's spoofing your number. She wrote, oh, LOL. Look at Snap. So she did a snap. He wrote, what is it? She says, you seen it? The Griffin shit? He said, oh. She says, what are you doing now? It's only 4 p.m. Want to chill? Still want food? My mom's ordering now. He says, what place? She says, Wild Fusion. Like, let me know ASAP. He said, sure, let me get pot sticker and General So's meal. Pork fried rice. I'll pay you for it. She says, okay, am I coming over now? Oh my gosh. Or do you just want me to drop it off? And he said, did you order it yet? Don't order it. I'll make something here. And she said, okay, I won't. What are you doing? He says, driving, then going to Trevor's and then back to my house for either basketball or baseball. She says, sounds fun. I miss you, babe. He said, I might just be the sun. She said, you know why it looks all crazy? Because of the fires. The sun is gone now. Oh my gosh. He said, I figured it'll probably be like that tomorrow. She says, I have a small video. I hope so. Night. Good night, babe. What time are we going tomorrow? He says. She says, let me see when my school is over. Probably at 10:30. She says it's over around 1:30, 1:40. Oh, wow. I probably can just skip if you want. Are you kidding me? Wait, they just got done talking about how he'll help her if she tries. And she's like, we could just skip. And then he says, probably. She says, class online. So hard and gay. Oh, I hate when they use this word too. He says, it's open at 11. She said, when do you want to go? I can go anytime after 10:30. He says, around 11, let's go. It's going to be so fun. I think they have a sax off Fifth there. I don't know how good it is, though. She says, oh, I'm really excited, too. He says, I'm a roll of wood, and we'll smoke at some point there. So I assumed the wood, you guys, was a blunt, but then he says a blunt, like some back. So does anybody know what a wood is? I know that it's pot of some sort, but I guess it's a joint. I have no idea. So she said, should I wear those checkered pants? This is at 9:30 in the morning. I could not imagine texting my husband at 9:30 in the morning to ask him if I should wear checkered pants. I don't know. Is it just me? And then she writes, or this babe jacket. And he says, I'm wearing checkered pants. Oh my gosh. And she says, my God, how the F do we always do that? But I was going to wear that outfit you picked me that one day. He said, show me. And then she sends an attachment. Oh, it's like a black shirt and gray pants. And then she sends herself all dolled up, a picture, and then says, what do you think? And then she says, babe. And he says, that's really cute. But it's a little cold right now. Only a high of 75 today. And we're going to be there when it's 65, 70. She says, let me show you another one. So I should wear long pants and a long shirt. He said, yeah, or long pants and a normal shirt and just bring a jacket. And take it off when you leave. And then she dresses again and sends a new one. And sends another. And then he says, I like it. And she said, which one, babe? And sends it again. Babe, it's about to be 11. He says, that looks good. I'm about to be on the way home. I was chilling with B for a sec. And she said, should I wear that, babe? That's fine. And he says, yeah. And she said, I just wanted you to tell me what to wear. I do not want someone to tell me what to wear, you guys. And then she says, also, I got to tell you some shit. And he said, here. So he picks her up. She says, coming. So at 9:16, we're only at 9:16, you guys. At 9:16 at 10:53, but it's not read till 11:15. She writes, coming. Come here. Now we're at almost 1 in the afternoon. Let me know when you're here. Morning, babe. So now it's the 17th at 9 in the morning. So they must have hung out. And he said, good morning, babe. And she said, about to leave Polaris. And it's 10:30 in the morning again. And he said, what outfit did you wear? Oh my gosh, my uniform right now. But I haven't picked I haven't picked. I'm a shower first. And he said, what should I wear? And she said, FaceTime me. I'll help you pick. Want to go to the haunted house tomorrow? 7 floors is open. Blair and Mallory. And he says, maybe. She said, we should. He says, I'll see what I have to do tomorrow. Can we invite Kyle? She said, yes, of course. Kristen can come then too. What are you doing? And he said, I just got home. She says, want to hang soon? He says, I don't know, might have to do a couple of things. She says, I'm with Karina right now. He says, nice. She says, babe, are you mad at me? Look at Snap. Like, if you are, I will leave. So she's over his house. I'm not trying to make you mad, babe. And then must send a pic or something. Call me. And then a bunch of question marks. And he writes, no, I'm busy. And she said, well, I'm home now. Or no, wait. She says, yeah, well, I'm home now. How many more runs do you have? So he allegedly, but I think it was like, whatever. He gets rid of rugs. Let's call them rugs. Like the kind you smoke. But he also, I did some research and he has a medical marijuana card. But then there's other times that you'll see like one of the freeze-dried bag things cut open. And I don't think that's how you get that at the dispensary. So I don't know. He might do both. I don't know. So she says, Mallory and Blair can go tomorrow. Why are you texting me weird? And he said, I'm hungry, but I don't know what Chinese to order. I can't order Dean's house either. She said, want to get the place I got a couple of days ago? It was really good. And he sends an attachment. Oh, I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is. And then I'm going to have to blow that up later. Yeah, I don't know what that is. And then he says, what place? I don't want to leave the house. And she said, the Chinese and Japanese called Wild Fusion, I think. What is that? Well, see, she didn't know what it was either. I could get it, then come over. And then he says, if you want to, yeah. Let me know what you want. He says, I'm going to get started on these cereal treats. Let me look it up. It's called Wild Fusion. And she said, okay, bet. Yeah. He says, sweet and sour chicken, pork fried rice, pot stickers. Let me look at what else. The pot stickers were so good, she says. He says, get me the fried ones and an egg roll. She says, is that all? And she says, you want me to order right now? Sweet and sour chicken, pork fried rice, fried pot stickers, egg roll. Oops. He said, mango chicken instead of sweet and sour. Get it ASAP. I'm hungry as F. Okay, she says. Okay, do you want fried rice with your mango chicken or just mango and pork fried? You don't have to get all defensive and call me a name. How the F do you think that makes me feel? Okay, so let's back up. So she writes about the mango and pork fried rice on 9/17 at 4:47 p.m. And then he answers or reads it at 4:51. And then she writes at 4:52. So I guess she must have called. And then he says, I didn't call you anything. I just said, shut up. Oh, that would have been enough for me. She says, yeah, that's mean as F. And he said, well, when you're disrespectful as F to me all the time about certain subjects, I'm going to get mad. And she said, it's not like that. It makes me sad as F when you say that to me, by the way. And he says, well, obviously I feel insulted when you feel so threatened by a voice off my phone. You're sad. I'm mad. None is better or worse than the other. And she said, I didn't mean to insult you, babe. He said, well, it's getting old. So now you know. She says, I'm getting the food. See you soon. He said, okie dokie, babe. She says, do you want duck squad sauce or duck sauce? Are you okay? How your tummy feel? Coming, question mark, question mark. He said, what? She said, what are you doing? Oh my gosh, you guys. He said, in the kitchen. She said, you low-key just left me upset. Okay, so now it's still 9:17, but it's 7:55 p.m. She said, are you coming back? I think she's at his house. He said, I'm chilling out here. Figuring out these dabs. She said, or question, you low-key just left me upset. Question, are you coming back? He said, I don't know. She said, how? He says, what? She said, how don't you know if you're coming here or not? And why are you not saying anything about me being upset? He said, why are you upset? She said, because you didn't give me a kissy. Oh my gosh. And then sent a sad face. And then she says, the weirdest shit happened. Morning, babe. All right. So now it's 9:18 at 8 in the morning. Morning, babe. Good morning, babe. What happened? She says, all my posters fell off my wall in the middle of the night. Oh gosh. One is even ripped in the corner. He said, you didn't do that? Was the window open? And she said, something to go. I don't know what she was trying to say there. I didn't, and they open, but not open enough for them to rip off my wall. Like, what the F? He said, I don't know. That's weird. She says, it's creepy AF. Like, one for real ripped. Babe. Red and blue, or yellow and black. Or just gold. He says, what? And she said, for your birthday, pick one. And he said, probably yellow and black. She said, okay, bet. I'm coming. And he said, I was going to say, I'm hungry. She said, I was waiting on my mom. You want me to start making food first? Like right when I walk in? Do you want just eggs and bacon? And he said, you can get mad, but you can't blame me for freaking. Oh, I guess they had it out. And then he says, any day it could happen. And boom, I'm gone. All right. This is one of the things that one of the reasons I wanted to read these. You guys, he does this, and so does she, but now they're freaking out at some point, right? And he warns her, and boom, I'm gone. And she said, I know. And I get why you're freaking out so much. It's just how you're talking to me. Like I came here. I made breakfast and you didn't even say thank you. I just feel like I did everything shitty and you didn't have to yell at me. You scared me. And he said, obviously, that's what I'm thinking about is saying, thank you for breakfast. No, I'm thinking about a million other things. I think you got anxiety. So now he's blaming her for anxiety. She says, Dom, your mom said nothing's going to happen. He said, in all caps, like you would effing know. Don't talk about the subject. You're not educated on me. Now I'm effing late. Don't talk to me, he says. I just go home. She said, are you sure? I'm worried about you. He says, yeah, you should have left earlier. She said, I wanted to make sure you were okay, Dom. I'll dip, of course, but could you give me some bud? Meanwhile, she's 15. She says, my mom can come now. It's cool if not, because I'll see you tomorrow. Or tonight, it says. And he said, I'm not going to that shit tonight. And I threw bud out there. She said, are you serious? I didn't do shit to you. Why are you acting like I did something wrong? This shit is not fair on my life. And he said, unfair to you? Like, are you for real? I can't even get anything done. Hour and a half late. Don't text me. And she said, Dom, I didn't mean it like that. I mean, you're mad at me when I came here to make you food and made sure you were okay. This shit is so sad. I left. And he said, I'm not mad at you. Oh gosh. I'm mad, period. And she said, okay, I'm sorry, babe. Text me later. Just seen Vinny Global. So she says, so what you going to be busy with at 9 p.m.? Oh my gosh, you guys. It's 4 and she's asking what he's doing at 9. And he writes, N-word what? Blair got work 5 to 10. We not trying to go. And she says, Mallory's been asking me if we're still going with her and Blair. And then he says, Blair just told me they both had work. And I said, cool, because I didn't really want to go anyway, because I don't know if I have time. And she said, we were going to go when they both off work. It's open 24 hours. Mallory said, we can just go to Blair's, but I really was excited for the haunted house. He says, I don't want to go either. She says, you said yes yesterday. Like plans were straight. I was excited as F, and so was Mallory. Dom. And he says, I have a headache. And I've been having a bad day. She says, well, you still have 4 hours. I really wanted to go. And he says, okay. She says, you should go because I was excited. And me and Mallory were so excited. I'll for real be upset as F if you don't go. And he said, you're being gay, which I don't like how they say that. She said, how is that being gay? And she said, you have had hours to cool down. You really can go to a haunted, you really can't go to a haunted house with me. Like plans were set. Tonight is the perfect night. Like I didn't want to go just because Mallory and Blair. HMU when you got a sec. Holler. I don't know. I don't know what that means. When you get she wants someone to call. Dom. And then side face. Yeah, we're probably going later, but it's good that it's open 24 hours. And he said, okay, bet. Yeah, I'll probably go. So all of this, you guys, it's only $7.50 and now he's going to go. And then he says, I'm going to take a baby perk for my headache though. Oh, wow, I've never seen this. So he's taking an oxycodone for his headache. She said, are you sure that's safe, babe? But that will probably help you low-key. I'll keep you updated. Also, can I come hang? If so, I don't fall asleep. I really want to go. Never mind. So I'm going to meet up with Mallory. Then when Blair is home, we all going to meet there, then go. He said, bet. She says, guess what got banned? He said, TikTok. She said, yes. Like, oh my God. He said, what's up? That's what's up. She said, also, it's going to be around 11. So be ready. What are you wearing? He said, I don't know, just got to change my shoes. She said, check Snap. About to get Mallory. Babe, please text me. And he said, okay. I had to run somewhere. She said, I'm on the way to get Mallory. I'm excited. 28 per person. And after I scoop Mallory, we're going to go to Blair's. So try to be there around 11. He says, okay. She said, on the way back, he said, to where, Blair's? And how far? She said, yes, it's like 40 minutes. Mallory lives so damn far. Also, go to Blair's. Going to be there in 20. He says, okay. She has question marks. So wait, let's see. So he says, okay, at 10:39 p.m. And then at 10:53, she writes question marks. Come back, question mark? Whatever. We were literally there. And he says, well, we thought we weren't going to make it. Don't piss me off, he says to her. She says, get me a ticket when you're there. We'll find you. He said, I don't know. She said, Mallory needs to put her bag in your car too. Text me when you're home, babe. And he said, I'm home. So now it's 9:19 at 2:43 a.m. So now by 2:46, he writes, hey, sorry, I was in a bad mood yesterday. And she said, it's fine. Shit like that just makes me have a hell of bad anxiety. How'd you sleep though, babe? And he said, like a rock. She says, For real, same. I was tired as shit. I slept socks, hoodie, and long sleeve shirt somehow, laughing my ass off. He says, I wasn't that tired. When I got home, I stayed awake for a second. She says, what's your plans today, babe? He says, I'm still pretty tired, but I got it pulled up at Jared at 11 or 12. She said, can I come with? I want to hang with you because, and he said, I do, but I'm afraid I'm going to get mad again. She said, oh, are you still in a weird mood, babe? And he said, no, but I don't want to be. Also, when them Machino slides coming, she said, I'm not telling you. I'm also getting you something else because it's his birthday coming up. She said, surprise, babe. And she said, yesterday I had to sneak your size. Slide size, she corrects it. He says, what is it? And she said, what is what? And he said, my slide size. And she said 10 or 43, I think. But I checked both slides. He said, bet. She said, what are you doing now? So now it's 9/19/2020 at 10:30 in the morning. What are you doing now? He says, he's still in bed. She said, I'm cleaning my closet. Hella stressed. He said, why is that? She said, like, it's so messy. And when I do cosmetology from home, I need a clean, organized area. And that is not my makeup area. And I have so much effing makeup, I don't even know what to do with it. And he said, get a box or something and fill it up. She said, I need like a divider for my drawer so I can separate all of it. Look at Snap. And he said, I used an old shoebox for my divider. Cut it up. And she said, I want a specific one. I'm going to order it off Amazon. He says, okay. She said, and I got hella clothes now. Gonna be hard to fit them all. Laughing my ass off. He said, LOL, try. True. I have too many clothes too. She says, me and you need like a massive closet. He said, yeah, low key. She says, some reason my mouth tastes like weed. What are you wearing today? And he said, I don't know. And she said, I don't know what to wear. He says, wear sweatpants and a sweat jacket. It's cold. She says, I can't wear cute outfits anymore because it's so cold. Want to hang soon though? Question mark, question mark, question mark. He says, I was in the shower. She says, well, you wanna? Babe. He says, maybe. She says, okay. I really want to hang. He says, okay. She said, did you go to Jared yet? He says, no, I don't know if I'm going. She says, do you not want to hang? Okay. And then said something else. He writes, not right now. She said, why are you replying so dry and taking so long? See, I told you she does not like when it takes a while for him to reply. Then he sends a picture. It looks like a steering wheel of him driving. And she wrote, okay. So in other words, he's driving. She said, you could try and keep me updated. And he said, sure. She said, what do you mean, sure? And he said, I'm in North Olmsted getting something off these kids. I guess rugs. And she said, when will you be free then? Because I feel like you don't want to see me. Of course you don't answer the phone again. Like, just said you would keep me updated, then leave me undelivered for a B. And then she's, for an hour. And then a bunch of question marks. And then emphasize it. He says, nothing. He just sent something, maybe a picture. She said, that's all you can say? Wait, what did he say? It says nothing on there. And she says, that's all you could say? Like, what is going on? Question mark, question mark, question mark. You're such a dick. Why the F are you so mean to me? And the fact that that question makes me feel mad is sus AF. You've been treating me shitty as F the last 2 days, and you don't give an F about it. And then it's keep going. She writes, answer. And he wrote, no, I haven't. I've been simply busy trying to do my thing. And she said, you have been actually. He said, you've been inconsiderate. She said, like taking over an hour to answering me and then replying so damn dry, then you telling me you will keep me updated and then none of that happened. How's that, Dom? And he said, bruh, you need to chill. And she said, I'm chilling. It's just frustrating. He said, what am I supposed to text you? Like, yeah, so I did blah, 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 and the blah, blah, blah. And now meet up with blah, blah, blah to blah, blah, blah. So he's like, and then he writes, you feel me though? Plus, it's hard to answer both phones. Okay, so he has a separate phone, I guess, for his businesses. And she said, well, you blocked me on the other one, or I would have texted that. And he said, don't say a thing about anything that has to do with anything. And she said, I'm not trying to argue. He disliked, or I wouldn't have texted that. And she said, stop talking to me like that. And then he disliked, well, you blocked me on the other one. Don't be putting that. I won't. Like, you hung up on me for no reason. So this is the thing. He said, I'm done texting before I get really effing mad. So he's getting mad at her for talking about the second phone, but he's the one that just brought it up. That's how I know that he had one, right? But now it's like her fault for bringing up the other phone. Okay. And then she writes, don't get mad. He says, you started questioning the F out of me. We're done texting. Conversation ends now. Okay? And she said, I asked you that to see how far you are. He said, no more words. Done. Cool. No message after that. See you later. And she said, that shit is sad AF. And he wrote, sorry. And she wrote, if you're sorry, you will show me you are. Like, how do you expect me to feel? And he said, you should be sorry too. And she said, that just proves you're not sorry. Like, holy shit. You have not been yourself and you still don't care enough to reply fast. Oh my gosh, you guys. And then emphasize that just proves you're not sorry. OMG. And he said, you're going to make me mad again. And she said, I've been mad all day because of you. Like, stop acting immature AF. What the F did I do to you? You always make me feel like I did something wrong. The fact that you still can't even reply fast is so crazy. Thanks for treating me like shit today and yesterday. It means a lot. And he wrote, I'm really busy. And she said, how? Like, can you prioritize me for just a little? Like, you're making me feel so alone. He said, no, I couldn't. And the fact that you keep pushing me is aggravating. She says, I'm not pushing you. I'm asking you to reply in a normal time and not be mean and dry. And I don't know why you can't do that. Like, do you not care at all that I just said I feel hella alone because of you? Like, did you forget I'm your babe? Oh my gosh, you guys. She's 15. He said, I prioritize you before eating, like, chill. And she questioned, do you not? So she questions that again about, do you not care? And then she said, Dom, I'm asking for 4 things. So are we not hanging out tonight anymore? Oh my God, you guys. And he says, probably not. She says, I should have known you would F me over. Whatever, Dom. Go be sus. Thanks for ignoring me all day and hurting me. So this is 7:39 at night. So you going to treat me like shit for pretty much 2 days in a row? Sounds sus to me. And then he writes, I don't know, that says nothing. He writes, maybe because I spent 2 racks this week on clothes with you. She said, obviously I'm thankful for that. I told you thank you a million times and I'll say it a million times more. What does that have to do with anything I just said? So you guys, he's buying her clothing. Like, not for nothing, but if my 15-year-old came home with $1,000 worth of clothes, do you know what I mean? That would make me suspicious. I would be like, who the hell got you these, and bring them back? Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know. Let's see what happens. The Eagles are coming on soon. So I'll see. I'm going to wrap this up in a little bit. So I wrote, it's just really sad to know what you can go through your day just fine, ignoring me and being rude and not caring when I tell you I'm sad. And he said, okay, well, if you keep acting like this, that's never going to happen again. And she said, what's never going to happen? Also, how about you stop being rude? I am not liking how I'm being treated. And then you hang up on me mid-effing sentence? I'm so done with this shit. I shouldn't be holding back tears all day, in caps, and then emphasized about him hanging up. And then she writes, this is not okay. And she just keeps going, you guys. It's 8:30. You literally give zero F's about me. And he said, it really isn't. And then all in caps, she writes, when I'm crying on the phone, please. When I'm crying on the phone, answer. You treat me like that. Like what? What the F happened to you? And he said, if you think that, then don't talk to me. And she says, all in caps, what is wrong with you? Like, what the F? You are acting like we just not together. And he said, if you got such a problem, break up with me then. And she said, is that really what you want? Like, all I've been trying to do is see you, and you've been being mean as F. And he said, no. She said, like, I have your back even when you're wrong. And you can't even talk to me without getting mad. He says, but you make it seem like you do. She says, I shouldn't feel guilty all day. He says, are you okay? Wait, I'm sorry. He says, okay, you know what? Well, let's return all the clothes I got you. See, that's another reason I don't like this. He said, and I'll stop doing my stuff, and I'll have all the free time in the world. I'll quit right now and be your bitch. And she said, you don't need to do that. He said, if you really want a broomstick up my ass, you effing psycho. She said, I just want time with you. He says, like, for real, I shouldn't want, oh, does that mean for real I shouldn't want it myself? And she says, I know you didn't just call me an effing psycho. I'll pretend you're joking because I know you know I can be a lot worse than this. Like, I don't know how many times I tell you that you can talk to me and tell me how you feel, and I'll always be there for you, but you never let me. And he said, if one day, it's because of the stress. And she said, don't even say that shit. What the F? Like, if doing what you do causes you so much stress, then chill out. And they're talking about selling rugs is what we'll call it here. And he said, no, it would be fine. But you make me want to effing scream during the whole process. And she said, so is what you're trying to say is I'm the problem? And he said, honestly, just F off. Don't effing text me. You're making me mad as F. And she said, I'm trying to talk this out with you. Oh my gosh, you guys. He says, no. You're effing bad at it then. Don't effing text me right now before I freak the F out. And she said, whatever, Dom, I'm just trying not to go to sleep sad as F again. And he said, F you. You have me so mad. And she said, hell, in capital letters. He said, I never want to deal with this shit again. And then she writes in caps, telling you I'm sad makes you mad. Just HMU later, Dom. I don't know. I'll figure that one out later. This shit makes me so sad. He said, this shit makes me so effing mad. Like, you don't even effing know. Like you make me want to hurt someone. You know what I'll do for you. I just become a Xan head again. I'll just become a Xan head again. So he's talking about Xanax. Wow. Wow. And he's 18. She said she's 15. Like, you shouldn't be talking in a conversation about Xanax, perks, pot, any of it. She says, are you trying to make me cry? He said, then I won't care. I won't get stressed or mad. And she said, all in caps, why do you just keep trying to hurt me? And he says, and you can just complain to me all you want about how I'm busy. She said, thanks, Tom. This is what you wanted. You don't understand that you're the only person I hang with ever. Maddie hates me. Mallory is 40 minutes away. No one wants to be my friend. Like, no one don't even want to be around me. And he says, well, instead of worrying about go get money and be great with sacrifices. I ain't going nowhere smoking blunts, doing nothing all day. You understand? If you can't let me do it, it's not going to work out. Because when it finally pays off, I don't think you're going to be complaining to me all day then. So don't complain to me now. She said, I always let you do your shit. I only get mad when you're rude and ignore me. I would just go hang with someone else when you're busy, but everyone hates me, so I can't. He said, no, effing not. Oh, wait, he says, don't effing say that. Don't effing lie. Everyone hated me too. And she writes in caps, I do when you are nice and reply fast, Dom. And he writes in caps, well, I can't. And she said, how do you think it feels when no one wants to hang out with you? And he said, when, in caps, I'm driving, in caps. It makes me want to go grind and be better than them. Oh my gosh. Not effing complain about it like you. So he's trying to grind and getting better at what? Like it's a shame that his thought process is even that, I don't know. Selling pot is literally like, there's really not money in that, I'm assuming, right? So I feel like he's like trying to be a thousandaire. I don't know. I just don't think he's not thinking about this all the way, in my opinion. So then he emphasizes not effing complaining about it like you. She said, thanks for making me feel worse. The last 2 days make me want to, now she's saying the last 2 days makes her want to herself. And he says, I'm sorry, but I have a lot of things on my mind. Us not chilling for a couple of days because I'm busy is good. Good night, babe. So that was on 9:20 at 10. Oh, that says 10 a.m. Oh, good morning, babe. Sorry. Good morning, babe, at 10 a.m. Sorry about yesterday. I don't want to fight. This is what he's saying. You can't text me when I'm busy, though, and expect me to answer like I'm on my phone enough. My eyes are always effed up. And she said, morning at, same time. I miss you. Oh my gosh. And then sad face. I'm going to be home soon. And he said, fascio? Yeah, that definitely stands for something. She says, want to hang? And he says, sure. Oh my gosh. And she said, Bet, are you free right now? You guys, this isn't even 24 hours later. Like, can I get dropped off? And he says, yeah, I got a bunch of mislabeled ones again. And then I'm making cereal bars and stuff. And she says, okay, Bet, I'll be over in a little. He said, do you want to get food? She says, yes, I'm starving. He says, I'm making bacon right now. Then we can order something tonight. She says, Bet, I'm hungry as shit. What are we getting? I'm leaving at 10:30, babe. He says, okay, babe. She says, morning, babe. He says, good morning, babe. Oh my gosh. She says, I'm about to dip Polaris. I have no classes today. Today sucked. I low-key am not liking Polaris. And he says, why is that? I have a headache. And she said, literally, my teacher is just annoying as shit, gives way too much work, and goes way too fast. And I have to see Audrey every day. Tell me why Megan looks directly at me and hugs Audrey because she's trying to get you jealous. He says, I don't know, because you threaten everyone. And she said, I really don't. And he said, you didn't threaten Haley? And she said, so everyone is Haley? And he said, your logic is the R word. And she says, why the F are you coming for me? Like, what the F? And he said, you're being arrogant. And then dislikes, so everyone is Haley? She says, thanks, Dom. I just won't tell you I had a bad day again if you're going to make me feel worse. And he said, well, I'm just trying to get your logic here. When you're saying stuff to Haley, did I say, are you Karina? I mean, right though? And then she says, whatever, my first day of school is tomorrow. Oh, well. And then she said, I don't know what to wear. He says, I don't know, just pick something. It's the same as every other day. I'll come eat lunch with you if I'm allowed. And she says, oh my God, that will make me so happy. I think he's done high school at this part. He says, yeah, then I can eat a chicken sandwich. Check Insta. You really think this dumbass can be president? And she sends something, but we can't see it. And then she said, let me check. Want to hang today? I don't have school. And he said, yeah, you want to hang? I mean, yeah, you want to put singles on your account? She says, yeah, sure. When do you want to hang? And he says, actually, I have to drive to Canton. I probably couldn't bring you because it's the straight hood. And she says, yeah, I get that. I could just stay at your house and you could go. And he says, well, I got to see when I have to go. She says, let me know, babe. He says, okay, he's not answering, so we can go load up the card. She says, okay, bet. He says, and I need breakfast. What should I eat? She said, I don't know. I just ate. I'm full as F. I had eggs. You want a scoop or do you want me to get a ride? And he says, I don't care. Yeah, I'll probably make some eggs and bacon real quick. She says, want a scoop? Meaning pick her up. He says, let me eat first. She says, okay, bet. She says, I'm ready. How long, babe? And he says, I'm eating. She says, okay. So do you want me to get a ride, babe? And he says, if you want. She says, I thought you were gonna get me. But I can also get a ride. And he said, I'm about to leave to do something so I can scoot. And she says, bet, scoot me, babe. And he says, okay. She says, I'm ready. How far? He says, can I hang out with Sheen for a little? Then we can chill. And she said, yeah, I wish you told me before I got ready and been waiting downstairs. Hang with you after or something like that. And he says, okay. She says, how long? He says, I don't know. We both about to shower, then chill. What should I wear? She says, I don't know, wear all gray. He said, okay. She says, I found a way to hide my style. What the F did he just say about me? Did he just call me a bitch? And Dom says, no. He said, I don't want her here. I don't want her to hear that shit. She said, oh, you promise? Oh my gosh. Did she leave? Or do you not want to hang anymore? And he says, Sheen didn't come yet. Kyle came real quick and grabbed stuff. She said, oh, so that's a no hanging soon? She said, I don't know. He said, I don't know. I'll hit him up and see. If not, we'll hang. Oh, see, I wouldn't want to be someone's second best. She says, let me know ASAP. He said, okay. Why? And she said, because I want to know if we're chilling soon. So I know if I should make other plans. But I'll wait for you. If he don't answer, can I just come? And then she questions, if he don't answer, can I just come? And he says, okay, 1 second. She says, I don't know. He says, I don't know. He didn't answer, but now I'm talking to this dude. I might go to Canton. And she said, can you drive me to school tomorrow? I need to be at Polaris at 7:50. And he says, yeah. Can you make sure I'm up? She said, no one can drive me, and I literally can't ride the bus. And he said, he'll take her, babe. She says, can you just set an alarm? I'll also call you. And he said, I will, but you call me. I'll go to bed early. And then he says, maybe I can start driving you every day, but not after the Lakers game, LOL. And then she says, you're really the best. Thank you, babe. I'll call you as soon as I'm up, and it's okay if you don't drive me after the Lakers game. And he says, LOL. And then she says, I'm going to test some new cars. Might get an old Mercedes. He says, that'd be raw as F. She said, I know. Or a BMW. Oh, that's funny. She said, I'm going to get a Mercedes or a BMW. I own both. Bitch. No, I'm kidding. She's 15, you guys. Like, who's buying her a Mercedes and a BMW? I think he does get a Jaguar eventually, but he winds up telling her that he's looking at a Jaguar and it's like 4,500. So I don't know. There must have been 1 million miles on it. But they're like trying to emulate a life that is a fantasy at best and a tragedy at worst. I don't know. She said both 14K. No, that's not bad. 14,000. That must have a lot of miles. He said, what year model? That's what I would have asked too. He says 2009 E-Class. Oh, an E350, but it's a 2009. She says 2008 BMW. 2008. I was like a 12-year-old car. Although one of my moms has a car for like 100 years and it has 1 million miles on it. And she's still able to drive it. So good for her. And then she says, someone's pulling in your driveway. That's weird, you guys. If someone just told me someone's pulling in my driveway, oh, maybe she's at his house. And he says, Jared. And then she says a 2003 SL class. This girl's crazy. And then she says Mercedes again. What one's cooler? Oh, yes, you're right. So I just got a text, like, notice how nice he's being when he re-ups. And that is absolutely 100%. You're going to see not only is she nice and stuff like that, but eventually she winds up staying with Dom all the time. So, and we're talking at 16 and 17, he winds up taking on the responsibility of taking her to school every single day. So, like, where are her parents in all this? Like, she literally stays there. Even after the accident, the dad, when they're talking to the cops, because I have the body cam too, he says something along the lines of like, oh, she practically lives there. And the mom's like, no, she doesn't. She just stays there a lot. Like, the mom gets real defensive, but she legit lives there. And then she asks, which one's cooler? I just seen Jada. Bruh. Ask Jared to send me that Malibu car for cheap. Sell me the Malibu car for cheap. I'm about to drive past you in a sec. And he said, LOL. And then she says, how nice is this car? And he said, it's pretty dope for real. She said, I'm probably getting that. He said, you should get an E-Class. She said, what's that? Ah, it's a Mercedes. He said, frog eyes. She said, is it under 20,000? I need. Yes. And he said, yes. It's raw as F. And she said, send me a pic. He said, look up a Benz E-Class. 2002 to 2009. Any of those ones. And she says, bet. And then he sends her pictures of Benzes. And she says, that car is hot AF. Want to hang when I'm home? And then question, want to hang when I'm home? This is the most frustrating thing, trying to find a car. I'm actually so mad right now. Why did you leave me on red? And he said, it was by accident. I didn't know. I do, but I don't want to be up late. And she says, I can't be up late. I have school tomorrow. I can leave at 10 or 9. You can still drive me tomorrow. And he said, that's why I just want to chill. That's why I just want to chill. Then I can drive you tomorrow. And she says, it's okay if you don't want to hang, babe. Let me know. I'm leaving. And he says, leaving where? She said, the car place. Do you want to hang? Or can you come to my house maybe? And he said, I'm about to eat dinner. I don't know if I want to hang. Ooh, I'll see you tomorrow morning. I want to be able to be up. And she said, okay, babe. Thanks again for driving me. It means a lot. And he said, of course, anything for my baby. And then she sends a TikTok or two, which is funny because they were like celebrating that TikTok got taken down and now they're sending TikToks to each other. And then he says, yeah, right. And she says, question mark, question mark, question mark. You said you had alarms for 7 and you're not even answering my calls. Oh my God. So it's 9:22 the next day at 7 o'clock in the morning. He tells her to make sure he wakes her up. They don't hang out the night before because he wants to make sure he gets up nice and early. And now he's not even answering the calls. And then she writes all question marks, exclamations, like she is mad. Oh, wow. And then he writes or sends an attachment. I don't know what that is, though. And then he writes, you look so cute. And she said, I love you, baby. Oh, God. She said, I'm going to miss you. And this is at 8 in the morning. He said, I wish I could be there with you. She says, me too. Have to turn my phone in. I'll talk to you later. And he said, I'll visit you at school when I'm allowed to. And she said, yay. He says, or she says, hey, babe. So now it is, I'll go a few more minutes. Only I'm like so interested in what's happening next is my problem of why I can't stop right now. So that we're on 9/22/2020 at 1:30 p.m. And then he said, what's up, babe? She says, I'm about to be in my last class. What are you doing today? And he said, cleaning up and meeting with my big homie. We can chill tomorrow later. And she said, yay. What are you cleaning? And he said, everything. She says, I'm in math right now. It's gay AF. And he says, math is the best subject. And she said, lies. It's hard. He says, not when you love it. I agree with him. She says, it's confusing. He said, sometimes. She says, snap. Can you drive me home? I have no ride. Babe. And then sends the Mercedes cars back to him. And then he says, what about it? And she says, I meant to send it to my mom, LOL. What are you doing? And he said, doing some runs. She said, I want to hang soon. He says, let me meet someone, then we can. She says, yay. Why? Let me know as soon as I can come. Oh, gosh. He says, I'm home now taking a shit. She says, want to hang? Oh, my gosh, you guys. It's still 9:22 at 6:30 at night. She says, like, I can come over right now. Question mark, question mark, question mark. I'm going to fall asleep. He says, I'm not home. I don't know if I want to chill. And she says, you just said we could. Why don't you want to chill now? He says, well, because I have to burn these boxes real quick. And then I probably have to go to Jared's. I don't know if I want to have to leave Jared's early. She says, I swear you never want to hang with me during the day anymore or the night. Like, question mark, question mark, question mark. This is so annoying. I was literally waiting for you to be home. Like, I didn't go to look at cars because I thought we were hanging. Now it's closed. And he said, I didn't know you didn't tell me. You don't tell me these things. So that's your fault, for real. She says, well, you waited till last second to tell me you didn't want to hang. How annoying is that? Like, how? I was waiting and you didn't care at all. And he says, please don't call me. I'm trying to get home. I'm trying to get home. Oh, he's going to shit himself. And she said, OMG, I'm so mad right now. Thanks for making me wait, then telling me we can't hang. And he says, bruh, I just said, I don't want to have to leave Jared early. And she says, you're with him like every day. How late do you even need to be there? Like, can you only hang with me at 6 a.m. now? You can't even talk Wait, you can't even talk on the phone. Like, bruh. Question mark, question mark, question mark. He says, bruh, because my mom will be sketch. That's why I can't be, that's why I can't be there for like 20 minutes. She says, I don't care if you there for a long time though. When I get bored, I'll just go on the car. He says, but it'll be late. You have school. She said, how late? Can you please just make time for me? I want to hang with you. Like, why do you want to hang with me? Why don't you want to hang with me anymore during the day? He said, do I really have to explain it again? And she said, this shit is so annoying. Like, I'm so annoyed. The fact that I waited, nothing to say again, cool. He says, sorry, I had my phone in my pocket. If I don't go to Jared's, we can chill. She says, well, when are you going to know? Question mark. He says, I have to go meet up with the kids again, with these kids again. Then she says, sideways face. She said, so that's you saying no. And he says, yeah, I couldn't bring you with. I don't trust these kids yet. And she says, Kay, you're really upsetting me. Don't forget about your alarm at 7. So now he's like taking her regularly. She writes, of course you still can't answer the phone. You answer like 10% of the time. He said, I'm sorry, I'm smoking a blunt. She said, with those random ass kids, I'm sorry. You never learn. And he said, it's literally a couple of extra letters. And she said, exactly. So I don't know why you can't type it. Like, if you really want to hang, you would make the time for me instead of smoking a blunt with weird ass kids. And he said, you don't understand. Business meeting. Oh my gosh, you guys. She said, whatever. I just wish you would make more time for me. Set your alarm for tomorrow. And he said, I got you. She said, you really never know what to say. Like, you give the lowest amount of effort when it comes to texting and hanging with me. Like that, like this shit is depressing. Thanks, Dom. And he says, okay, I'll start trying harder. I'm taking a little hiatus from my stuff soon anyway. Oh, look at that. And then she emphasizes to set his alarm for tomorrow. FaceTime me too, she says. He says, okay, babe. I just got home. I'm tired, so I'll be able to go to bed and get up. So he doesn't want to FaceTime pretty much. So she says, did you set an alarm? I love how we haven't hung in 3 days. Oh my gosh, you guys. He said, I did. She said, I don't have players today. It's tomorrow. And he said, what? And this is at 7 in the morning. So he set his alarm. So I'm up for nothing. And she said, it gets confusing because I go some days and then it changes. And he said, it's okay. She says, I'm sorry, babe. Make some time for me today. Oh my gosh. I want to hang with you. He says, Okie, what are you doing? And this is at 9:10 in the morning. She writes, Polaris shit right now. Oh, I guess it must be the next day. She says, I only have one class today. It ends at 1:40, though, 12:40 to 1:40. And he said, how? She said, on my computer. He said, amazing. She says, it's gay AF. I have to be certified to sanitizer. Hang at 1:40, question mark, question mark. He says, yeah. She says, yay. I'm excited to hang. And now it's still 9 in the morning. Then she writes, what are you doing at like almost 12? He says, getting stuff done before I have to go to Jared's. And she said, I'm about to test a car. He says, I thought you had school. She said, I do. I'm on school right now on my phone. Oh, so she was like virtual. He said, nice. She said, when are you going to be free? I want to hang. He said, when are you free? She said, I'm going to be free after I test this car, maybe around 1:40. He says, I have to go to Jared's. I don't know if I can wait that long to go. And she said, how long are you going to be there? When do you want to go? I can be quick. For you, babe. And he said, I want to go now or by 12:30. She said, I'll be done around 1. You can't wait any longer. And then she says, that wasn't supposed to be mean, babe. I was just asking if you can wait a little longer. And he says, we all on a time schedule here, Kenzie. And she said, can you please just wait a little longer for me? I don't even want to test this car now. I'm trying to be back fast. And he said, why do you always do this to me? She says, do what? Why are you trying to argue with me right now? Like, I just asked you to wait a little longer. He says, no, like I'm always trying to get shit done. So then we have the rest of the day together and you're just like always trying to get in between. Like I haven't ate, showered, etc. She said, I'm on the way home. I thought you wanted me to come. Are you bringing me to Jared's? Are you mad at me or something? What you think about a Toyota Corolla? And he said, no, I'm just super ticked all the time. You know how I am. Just like the miscommunication makes me frustrated. I'm not mad at you at all. She said, I'm sorry, babe. He says, I love you, baby. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so dysfunctional. She says, love you too, babe. What do you think about me driving a Toyota Corolla? He says, what year? If it's a new one, yeah. Or get like a Toyota Corolla LE or something. She sends a picture of the car. I believe that's the car she gets. He said the ones that look like a Lexus. And she said, I hate the inside. He says Toyota Camry and sends pictures. She says, I like that. And he said, Camrys are nice. She said, I don't know about the one I'm in right now, though. It looks weird. And he said, Corolla, gay. And she says, yeah, for real. He says, LOL. She says, I'm a test a Chrysler convertible. He said, what Chrysler? She said, I don't know. I'll show you when I'm there. When are you coming home? My mom is being annoying as F. Question mark, question mark, question mark. He said, at Jarrett's. She said, I didn't ask. Oh, yes, she did. She asked me. And then she said, literally don't send me pre-typed messages. I just asked when you're coming home. I literally hate pre-typed messages so much. And then emphasize, please don't send me pre-typed messages. He said, well, I was hitting the blunt. After the blunt, I'll go home. And she said, then just wait to text me then, because it's annoying as F when you send me fake text. Meanwhile, then he'll get in trouble for not sending it fast enough. She said, want a scoop? How long? Oh my gosh. He said, Andy. She said, how much longer? He says, can I go home first? I don't know. I'm by 3:03. My messages are weird right now. She said, are you telling me to just get a ride over? And he said, can I go home and eat first? Then I'll pick you up. And she said, so how long do I have? And he says, oh my gosh. Why else? Wait, he says, I'm almost home. She says, so you eating first? He said, yeah, that's what he told her. He said, I need food. She says, me too. He said, so I'm not agitated. She said, I understand. Please don't take forever though. He said, won't. I just got home. She says, I'm excited to see you, babe. He said, what should we do? She says, whatever you want to do. I look really cute today. And he says, okay. She said, just come get me as soon as you can. Ready whenever. And he says, okay, I'm about to be done eating. Yay, she says. He says, can we clean up the house real quick too? She says, of course. He says, bet. She says, let me know when you're on the way. I'm ready. And he says, I'm on the way. She says, yay. And then let's see. So that is 9:23 at 4:00 in the afternoon. Oh, it's still 4. Bernie is doing a giveaway. And she said, of course he is. Oh, so this is still the same time. Why does he copy everything I do for real? Because you're successful and he wants to be like that. That shit's annoying as F though. If you don't fix this, there will be an issue. Oh damn. Now it's 5:20 p.m. Oh. He says, Kenzie, this is so stupid. And she said, I deserve love and respect, and you give that 60% of the time. You guys, I don't know if you were paying attention, but beginning of this live that he only 10% of the time, she's not very good at math. She admits it, but I'd say we're on the rise up a lot. So then it says, meanwhile, I really should be hanging up, and I just am like addicted to this post thing. It's crazy, but I will. I have self-control. And then just another minute. He said, I said, you can post pictures of me. I don't care. She said, like, I cry all the time. And whenever I need anyone to talk to, I have no one. And he said, yeah, you don't have to. And she says, your words hurt more than other people's words do. And he says, Kenzie, a lot of shit is barely a big deal. Like, I'm about to freak out. And she says, you don't understand how bad it hurts when you just walk away and leave me here crying or tell me to leave. Oh my gosh, you wouldn't have to tell me twice to leave. Tell me once to leave. I'd never come back. He says, like, you make a picture so stressful. And she says, like, we could just be chilling right now. Why? Why? Why have to be like that? Dom, if you don't come back, and he says, why? What will happen? Ooh, she said, there's like 30 shards of glass in my hand. I cleaned up everything. Ooh, he said, you could have just vacuumed them. What's that from? She said, like, you always make it seem like it's my fault. Like, why don't you care? And he said, why didn't you care? And she says, I can literally buy you a new rig. Oh, she broke his rig. Ooh. And she said, he says, it's not the same. She said, I tried to help before you just left me here. So it won't be special. Oh my gosh. If I get you it, thanks. And he said, it won't be special at all because it's not 3 years old. And she says, are you coming back? And he said, no. Oh, wow. Okay. She says, why? Where even are you? I can't believe you. Something changed. He says, driving. I almost said, does that mean, wait a minute, wait, what's that? What do you mean? That's it. She says, you can be the adult you are and come back, or you can keep acting like that and make everything worse. I mean, something changed. Like, you haven't been yourself. Like, I'm low-key starting to think Angelo is making you hate me. Angelo is his brother. Like, if you want to not be toxic, you will come back. And he said, Kenzie, I'm not dealing with this anymore. You do this every time. And she said, you're acting like I'm nothing. And he says, stop playing victim. She said, so you're the victim? Like, you didn't just get mad at me for me getting excited to post you? And he said, no, I didn't. She said, you did though. And he said, I didn't say anything. She said, and you said I'm disgusting. Oh my gosh. And then he said, and then you made a big deal. She said, I didn't make a big deal. I just started crying. He said, good to twist my words. She says, because you know just how to hurt me. He said, honestly, let's just chill the 26th. She says, are you for real? If you do that to me, we'll have a huge issue. Imagine being able to say that. Like, my effing hand is bleeding bad from this glass. All you care about is yourself. And he says, why the F did you grab it? She says, even though you've been mean to me, most of the time I've been here, I jumped up to clean that effing glass so you wouldn't have to clean it. Like, you give 0 Fs. And he said, you could have just vacuumed it. And she said, honestly, this shit does not feel good. I feel like you've been treating me shitty as F for like 3 days now. And he said, I think I'm going to, he's going to himself again. She says, you are not. I'll tell your mom. And he said, no, like literally. She says, Dom, what's STG? And then he says, going 80 down Boone. There we go, you guys. I think that's the road. Wow. I've never seen this text. If anybody's still on, because I haven't switched over because I'm afraid it's going to lose my spot. 10437 is the next page we need to write down. So he literally says that he's going to himself and then says he's going 80 down Boone. And she says, you are not. I'm calling the cops if you don't effing stop. And he said, then I'll actually myself. And she says, like, what the F are you trying to do? And he said, this is just myself. And she said, are you trying to hurt me? Why are you saying this to me? Meanwhile, it's all about her. She said, like, if you don't stop, there will be issues, all in caps. And then all in caps, who the F says that to anyone? Like, you must want to hurt me right now. F this. And he said, so I just don't want to feel this anymore. I hate this. She says, then come back. There's a million other ways. He said, yeah, but you choose the same way. She said, the fact that you just said that to me, I never do. I never would. It's swear to God. Thank you. Thank you. I had no idea, actually. I'll never take that P way. I'll never take the P way out. So wait, you guys, here goes another one. So she's talking about not being able to herself. And he was just talking about doing it via driving 80 down the road. And she's calling it the P way out. She said, like, never say that to me again. Like, I swear you make me feel like you don't even like me. He said, whatever. It was all good time. It was all good time till you wanted to cry over a picture. Like, I do all these things for my anger issues, and you don't help at all. And she said, like, when you see me excited about a picture about you, don't just kill my happiness. I can't say shit without you getting mad. That's why I just didn't say anything. I could literally say I feel sad and you would get so mad. Do you think that's hard for you? It's stressful for me too. I have to think before I say anything around you. I try so effing hard to keep you not mad. You will never understand. You can be mad and come back or choose to be a child. Like, I haven't been able to put this effing glass down. Dom, I swear to God, thank you. Come back right now or I will tell your mom. My hand is stinging. And he says, tell my mom and throw it out in the trash. And she said, you don't even care. Oh my God. And he said, what do you mean? She said, like, I tell you, my whole hand is bleeding and you just don't care. I offered to effing buy you a new rig. You don't care. And he said, it's a $50 rig. I don't care. She said, then why are you still throwing a fit? If you don't care, then you can just come back. And he said, Kenzie, I just don't want you to cry over a picture. I said you could post the effing picture. I just don't like this stressful shit. Stop being an effing child. Being in a relationship isn't about posting effing pictures. I agree with that. She said, come back. We can talk like adults. She's not an adult. Because I know I am mature enough. She's 15. He said, he says you're 16. I'm so glad he says that. So now he's 19. And then, he says I'm 18. He just corrected me. But his birthday is coming up any day right here. So he says you're 16. I'm 18. But his birthday's coming up. He's about to be 19. We are far from mature. She said, I'm mature as F. You're choosing to act like this. He said, if you were mature, you wouldn't cry over a picture. She said, I didn't cry over a picture. I cried because it feels like an excuse. He said, I told you exactly why, but okay. She said, like, you don't understand. Like, you're totally the only person in the world who doesn't want anyone to know that it's their birthday. Oh, see, his birthday's coming. Kyle probably is just going to post you. Everyone's going to post you. And I'm just going to have to sit there. And he said, bruh. She said, come back so we can talk. And he said, I don't ask for people to post me. And she says, like, that's the point. You don't ask people to do it because they effing care about you. And he said, like, if he said anything, I'd say no. She said, that's what people do for birthdays. And I feel like it's only an issue because it's me and you don't want people to know. This is the other thing, you guys. So the accident was the end of July, the beginning of August. So if you like 3 days after the accident or something, she turned 18. So she was 17. His birthday comes up in September. So when he said that you're 16 and I'm 18, that was only for a few days. So she just turned 16 and he's about to be 19, which I think is a big span of time. And I don't know if you know this, but they're like on the brim of where it's not even legal, but it is still. So, except for when she was 15. And then she says, and I will always feel like that. Okay, well, I don't like my birthday, says Dom. And then he says, I don't like the attention. So I'm done with my birthday. And she says, come back so we could talk. He said, we can just forget it. And she says, no, we can't. And he said, you can take the slides back. And she said, I'm so done. And he said, my new birthday is March 5th. What the frig is that? She says, F this. He said, you can. Why? I just don't want to deal with this shit. We don't have to do anything for my birthday. Again, we could just all have another birthday for you. And she said, did you leave? Question mark, question mark. Oh my gosh, you guys. Come in your room. So she's at his house. He says, well, not right now. She said, soon? Could I hit the bong or something? My anxiety's up. And he says, sure. She says, want to take a dab together? And he says, no, I'm mad. I'm upset with everything. She says, is everything okay? I heard hella yelling. And I'm sorry, babe. Is there anything I can do to help you? And he says, no, I live a miserable life. Aw. She says, your real life hasn't even started if you think about it. And he said, it's been miserable. I'm miserable. I'm a miserable person. And she says, is it me? Or is it just in general? And he said, everything. She says, so me? Babe, I care about you a lot and I don't want you to be miserable. Where are you at? So now we're still at night. I'm trying to like end at least today. She says, text me back. You're worrying me. Dom. Oh my God. And then emphasizes where you at. And then removes an exclamation from, babe, I care about you a lot. I don't want you to be miserable. Then why are you not answering me? And he finally says, I'm talking to my mom. And she says, okay, I just wanted to make sure you were okay. And he says, okay. She says, come in here after. So she's at his house while he's out there talking to his mom. Or do you want me to come out? And he says, okay. When I come back, let's just not talk much. So I'm sorry, he's at his mom's next door. So he means when he comes back next door to his house. She says, I know. I was just going to hug you. Do you want me to come out? I have to leave at 10. Babe, can you come now? I've been here for a while. And he says, why do you have to leave at 10? She says, at 10. And he says, no, I'm not coming back. I'm just going to be mad I'm just going to be mad and the TV and you have to leave soon anyway. And she says, what? And he says, I might come in a sec if you're leaving at 10. And then she says, please come. I've been in here for so long. And he says, okay, give me a sec. And she says, okay, bet. Come now? Question mark, question mark. Okay, so now we know it's his birthday. Of course, I have to read his birthday. 9/24, I have to read his birthday, and then we're going to hang up. Or do I start with his birthday next time? Let me switch over. This will be the thing. If I switch over and it goes somewhere. So we're on 10/4/88. How long have I been on here? Let's see. Oh, it doesn't even say really. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Sarah. I appreciate you so much. The sun's right in my eyes. Thank you so much for the super chats. I really do appreciate you. And thank you all for being here, for all of those here. And if somebody, yeah, I am hanging up. My voice is starting to hurt. Oh, you're saying hang up her. She says, that's funny. Isn't this like so interesting though? I'm like so into this. I don't know who's here. I think it's Harlot. me, truth. For some reason, I can't see much on my StreamYard. So this is what I'm going to do, you guys. Let me go back to this. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's been 2 hours and 30 minutes. Can you answer the question I asked you? Oh, what was the question, Sarah? I'm sorry, my eyes. I'm sorry, Sarah. Hold on one second. Yes, I can answer the question. One says, bless your heart. The other one says, does her obsession with specific times make you consider an eating disorder more? Oh my gosh, you're still in this eating disorder. This is the thing, Sarah. So I think that we talked about that RFID yesterday with BK and about how it's about restrictive food intake and how it only differs from anorexia in its oh wait, what just happened? It's about a disorder of control, and it's about actually losing weight. And then with RFID, it's more about textures and your sensations. With that being said, I do think she feels very out of control in her life. And I know that with kids, there's only like 3 things they control: what they say, what they take in, and what they put out. So I could see why she would have an eating disorder. I also do think, though, that we need to look at the fact that she says she's very like healthy eating and health conscious. Even if you look now, and she even talks like she's totally fine. She says like she gained weight in her jail call and she was 125 pounds and that she was totally fine with it. I don't know that I'm convinced that she has an eating disorder at this moment. I think, in my opinion, we're looking at like borderline personality disorder, which I also want to see where her fear of abandonment is, because her mom and dad are both in the house, but there's definitely family dynamics that are not right. I also found out that her dad's like 18 years or something older than the mom. Like, he's a lot older. So I wonder if that's why she's okay with being with Dom, who's older. I don't know. Do other people have questions before I hang up? So I'm not convinced that she has anorexia yet. But that would be the eating disorder, anorexia, if she did have one. And this is the other thing. I think that because she does eat, right? She also doesn't eat meat. And I think that, and she didn't eat meat for like a long time. So she eats like a lot of like plant-based stuff. So I don't know. I don't think she has one as of this point, but I could change my mind when I find out more. And I think that we'll figure that out too as we do more of this. You guys, we only went through like, I don't know, 1/30th or something of the text messages. There's so many of them. But the Eagles are on. Philadelphia. Go Eagles. Oh, wait, where's it at? It's so sunny, I can't even say go Eagles. Okay, so I'm going to go. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you again for your super chats. Let me see, was there any other questions before I hang up? I'm going to the bottom. So anorexics. Wait, what's the difference between borderline and histrionic again? And then Sarah says anorexics lie about not eating meat to get off eating. No, you're right about that. They also push food around and stuff. There's a lot of things anorexics do. But this is the thing, Sarah. She eats when she doesn't necessarily have to. So, for example, there's a lot of times that he'll say, I'm hungry, and she'll be like, I'm starving. Where like she could just say, oh, I just ate, but like, I'll go with you. So that's a lot of the stuff that we would normally see. I don't know. I think she likes being tiny, and I think that she's always eating like fruit and stuff like that. So I'm not convinced that she's not just health conscious. Could it be like, you could still have eating disordered behaviors and not have a full-blown eating disorder. So just because of the way she gains weight in jail and how she's completely okay with it and actually is like, oh, you have to see my butt looks big and it looks good and da da da. So I feel like had she had an eating disorder, that would have been really hard for her, and that we might have seen the reverse like we do with BK. He got skinny. But anyway, what was your question, Scar? Okay, so Harlot says, what's the difference between history borderline. So histrionic, borderline, antisocial, and narcissistic personality all fall under cluster B of personality disorders. There's 10. Those 4 are in the same category for erratic and emotional behaviors. That's cluster B. That means that they share odd and erratic behaviors. That's one thing that they share, right? So with histrionic, think of hysterical, where the person, so how does that differ from borderline? I see what you're saying. So with borderline personality, the person's not always hysterical or so outward about their emotion. However, it is similar, all of them. Like in one, antisocial, you have a lack of like empathy and stuff like that. And then you could have, and same thing with narcissism. And then you could have histrionic and borderline where you definitely feel those things, but you have an inability to regulate emotion. So the other big thing is that with borderline personality, the core of it is sort of abandonment. And again, remember, it's that inability to regulate emotion, where histrionic is more like hysterical with your emotions. Sarah, if you could say that any better, feel free. I can't believe I just did. Well, yeah, I can believe I talk that long. I talk that long every day at work. All right, let me see. Is there any other questions? Go birds. Let me see. I got that. I'm just making sure I didn't miss any. Anorexia is about control numbers, 1,000%. Yes, I did just come up for air barely. Thank you again, you guys, for being here. And hopefully people will watch this because I do feel like it's important to, yes, borderlines don't do boundaries. So, and with borderlines, the other thing I would say is I usually say if you need like a visual picture, like borderline personality as far as the inability to regulate emotion, but also wanting. So they often want some form of like solid, they want security. That's the word I'm looking for. So I say picture borderline, like the emotional part, as being like liquid jello. And when the borderline has a jello mold to make it solid, they're solid. But if that jello mold gets lifted, they become the liquid jello again. The solid part or that mold, the jello mold, could be many different, it could be different shapes, different colors, different sizes. In other words, meaning you could have different relationships. You could have different relationships that look completely different. Like one person's like this, the other one's like that type thing. And then you still find the same thing at the core, which means that the people are more alike than you would think. The point here is for a borderline, they provide a sense of security, but when that security is lifted, they go back into that inability to regulate, which is why sometimes when people are in a relationship, the borderline is what I mean. When a borderline's in a relationship, sometimes people could be like, oh, well, maybe, you like grew out of it, stuff like that. The thing is that when the relationship ends, and again, whether with a female, a male, whatever the case may be, you'll see that all go back. The one I could think of is Jodi Arias. If you don't know who Jodi Arias is, Harlot, you need to look her up. She definitely, in my opinion, has borderline and antisocial, which I think is a dangerous mix. One of your exes was borderline. So, Harlot, was it hard for you to break up? Same with Sarah. Oh, well. I've never dated a borderline. I have a lot of students that are borderline, though. So it was very hard. Wow, that's interesting. Oh, you do know who she is? Oh, she's definitely a great example of that. But she's a great example in that when Travis Alexander wanted to move on, she just wouldn't allow it, right? She wouldn't allow it. She went through his doggy door to get into the house to like watch on him. So she does all of these things, and she just couldn't handle the fact that he was about to go the next day to the Bahamas with a different girl. Even if they were going as friends, in her head, that was it. She even gives him, they said, one more chance before she takes his life by are we going? And he says no. True says she wants to be complacent, but as soon as she's getting it, she stirs shit up because she's addicted to drama. Yeah. But this is the other thing too, Truth, right? Oh my gosh, Sarah, she would wait on your porch. Oh my gosh. Truth, this is what I would say, right? Don't you think he is too, though? Because he'll like fight with her, and then the minute she like acquiesces. He's like, pushes, I don't know. I feel like the whole thing is dysfunctional on both ends. Harlot says, it wasn't as bad with me, but she was insane. Oh my gosh, Harlot's gay too? You guys, our whole entire, and Harlot, everybody in the chat's gay pretty much. So all about it, but I did not know you were gay too. Look at that, Sarah. In truth, we have another gay friend. I think our entire channel, not the entire channel, but yes, everyone's gay. That is so funny. Sarah's I call her the gay queen pimp because she wears pimp shoes. That was so funny, Sarah. Not the bullies. Exactly. That's what we should say. I feel like I don't even know that I've met many female subs that aren't gay. Isn't that funny? But Harlot, I had no idea. She said, I'm technically bi. Oh, I apologize. I guess it's the person's personality and soul that matters to me. Oh, that's what my daughter Gianna says. I love that. True story. Thank you for sharing that. All right, you guys, I'm going to go because I need to go watch the Eagles and get something to eat. Thank you guys for being here. And thank you again for my super stickers. You are the best. And thank you for modding, you guys. And I just appreciate you all. Have a great, great Sunday. I'll see you later. Please like, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed this so that I can continue to bring you content. Thank you so much.